Jagruta, Jaya Masters. There are two very distinct approaches to personal growth, spiritual growth. One is you set your eyes, your goals on something, and you try to develop will to strive for the changes you want, for what you want to achieve. In the West, that's what we stress. We stress setting your goals, your statement, your mission, and then not giving up, just climbing over every hurdle, keeping your eye fixed. If you're good, that's how you do it. And just aim there and just keep going. There's another way that actually works a lot better. It's a lot easier too. That is to look instead of looking where you want to go, because at the moment you're going to see, you don't even know where you want to go. You just know you want to go away from where you are. You want to get something that's more fun than what you have, meet somebody who makes life more interesting than what you're experiencing. So every goal you set for yourself, in truth, is indicating that you're not okay. That's why you're setting these goals. That's why you're trying to get and achieve and do these things, because you're not contented, you're not okay, you don't feel whole and complete, you're not comfortable with yourself. So you try to figure out what it is that maybe will make me feel better, make me do better, and then how do I go about getting it, and then don't ever give up. No matter what obstacle comes in front of you, just by any method, any means, reach for your goal. And that becomes the motive of your life. But the motive of your life is basically saying, I'm not okay, that's the motive of my life, and I think this is going to make me be okay, and this is how I think I can achieve it. And then you put all of your will and all of your energy and all of your time and everything into trying to achieve that. There's another way, and the other way is 1 billion times more probable in you reaching a beautiful state, in you having a fulfilling whole life. It starts at the same place where the other started, which is, I'm not okay. But instead of asking what needs to happen for me to be okay, it asks, why am I not okay? In other words, there's a reason I'm not okay. It's not because I'm not married. There are plenty of people that are married and are not okay. And plus which, when I was 13, I was not okay, and I wasn't thinking about getting married. It's not because I don't have $1 million. Plenty of people do have $1 million and not okay, right? You can't say that I'm not okay. What do I think will make me be okay? Therefore, that's why I'm not okay. Now, you listen to that. That's faulty logic. Listen to me, what I just said to you. I'm not okay. How do you know? I feel it. I'm in here. I feel it. It's an experiential thing. I'm not okay. Your mind thinks, what needs to happen, or what do I need to do, what do other people need to do, whatever it is, what needs to change so that I will be okay. That's a concept. I have to make up something. I think if I move to Hawaii and live in a houseboat, I'll be okay. You make it up, and then you see how it feels. And because I'm not okay, it either feels better or feels worse, and I try to figure out that which will feel the best. I don't know. It's a speculation. It's a concept. Obviously, I haven't been okay, so I don't know, all right? But what I do is I build what I want to happen, my ideals, my dreams, my concepts, my views, all this stuff, my goals. I build them as best I can upon what I think will make me be okay, and that's based upon my past experiences. I've been through this with you before. We're going to go very quickly, but understand that. The only data you have in there to build that model are your past experiences. Therefore, if you had a past experience and had a relationship with a guy named Ben, and it was atrocious, okay, you're not thinking, I need to meet another Ben. Not a chance in the world, or another person like Ben. Whereas somebody else had a beautiful relationship when they were 12 with a kid named Ben, and now they're 40 and they're still looking for Ben. It is your past experience that forms the data that you have in your mind for you to project what you think will make you be okay and what you think will make you be worse. Does everybody understand that? What else do you have? That's all you got. Those are the experiences you had. So that's very foundational, that you have had these past experiences. You're not okay, and so you build within the playpen of your mind. Your mind can think anything it wants, so it thinks, if I get married, if I have children, if I earn $1 million, if everybody applauds when I walk in the room, right? If my name's in lights, imagine going to Times Square. Whatever your mind thinks, it can think whatever it wants. Or, I want to be off the grid. Doesn't matter. Nothing's more pure than anything else. It's just your past experiences have left you feeling that certain things will make you feel better and certain things will make you feel worse. So since you're not doing okay, you will formulate this model of how the world needs to be in accordance to what you think will make you feel better. Doesn't mean it will make you feel better, but you think it will make you feel better. Do you understand that? It's so foundational. You don't have to make your mind do it. It does it automatically. It's default program. I want to be okay. How do I be okay? Build a collage of my past experiences and make something really beautiful that makes me feel like, wow, that will do it. You give the same one to her, she'll freak out and run away, and God forbid this should ever happen, because she had different past experiences. We call those past experiences samskaras, impressions. They're not wrong, they're not bad, they're not evil. They're just impressions that got left upon you that you held on to, therefore they're in your mind. And so now when your mind thinks, it's formulated by those impressions. Its whole foundation is based on those impressions. So now you've built this model. And now building the model doesn't do any good. For me to think, oh, if I moved to Hawaii and I could do this or do that, it's nice to think it makes me feel good, but I know it'll never happen, and so I get depressed. I have to be motivated enough to say, I'm going to make it happen. Right? And I know that's very Western, and I'm not talking against it. I just want you to dare to look at it. So now you're not okay. You've built this model based on your past experiences about what you think will make you be okay. Now you're about to make that model God. It's your God. You understand that? You're about to do everything you say, every way you act, where you live, who you're with, how you dress. Everything is going to be based upon that model, isn't it? You're going to be acting in accordance to what that model said will make you feel better or will make you feel worse. So that is one way of living, of trying to build a model and then make the model happen and settle for the few times that it matches your model. There's no question. If it matches your model, you get happy. If it even starts to match your model, you get excited. It hasn't even happened yet because you think it's going to make you happy. Versus if it starts to go in a direction that doesn't match your model, you start to freak out, even before it happens. You can think about what's going to happen 20 years from now and get upset. So this is what's going on with this way of life. And it's our attempt to be happy. It's an attempt to be well. Remember, I'm not well. This is what's going to make me well. All right. It's not going to make you well. It's going to make you neurotic. It's going to make you worry all the time. It's going to make you anxious because you've set up this model of how things need to be. And you know the world's not just going to go do that. And so you have to fight with it. And you wake up in the morning worrying. You go to bed, did I say the right thing? Every single time you have a conversation with somebody, almost every time you walk away, oh my God, why did I say that? Oh, I forgot to say this. That would have been impressive. You're selling yourself. You're just constantly trying to be okay this way. All right, what is the alternative? The alternative is start where you're not okay. That's reality. I'm not okay. Why? Why? Somebody's doing something. It's making me feel anger. Making me feel anger. Making me feel frustrated. All right? I have yuck going on inside of me because of what that person's starting to do. Let's get right when it's starting. They're starting to talk about something. It's not really comfortable. The question is not, how do I get them to stop talking about that? The question is, why is what they're talking about bothering me? And it's a big difference. If what you do is try to figure out how to avoid the moment that's bothering you, instead of figuring out why it's bothering you, you will keep the why it's bothering you and just get rid of the temporary moment, and another one will happen, and another one will happen. Or you'll be afraid another one will happen. Someone will start talking to you about something that's making you uncomfortable, and you say, oh, I have a phone call. It vibrated. I have it on vibrate. You know, you pull something off like that, right? And you walk away, and you say, oh, God, calm down. You will be afraid to see that person next time. You'll be anxious if you're supposed to go out with the person next time or do something because it bothers you. And all you did was avoid the one stimulus that was happening that bothered you. You didn't take care of why it bothered you. Do you understand that? You will have it for the rest of your life bothering you, Your potential for bothersome is high if you leave that stuff inside of you. So spirituality is not about getting what you want. There's a reason you're not okay. Find the reason, get rid of the reason, and you will be okay. When you're sick, I have a headache. You go to the doctor. I hope you go to the doctor and say, I have a headache. I've been getting headaches lately. Can you help get rid of them? Why am I getting these headaches? Not, I have a headache, give me some codeine. That's not going to get rid of your headache. It's going to temporarily put something on top of it. But whatever the cause of why you're having these headaches now, you didn't get rid of it. That's the same thing here. Inside doesn't feel good. There's a reason for that. If you have someone come to you, oh, no, I love you, sweetheart. You're the light of my life and everything's fine. And no, you're beautiful. Okay, I feel better. That's not going to last. Whatever the reason was that you had that was making you feel insecure, you didn't get rid of it. You just put somebody's nice words on top of it. So what yoga is about, what spirituality is about, what the deep teachings are about, are if you find that you're feeling anger, and anger starts to come up inside of you, there is a reason for that. And it's not because of what that person is saying. If somebody else was standing there and they were saying this, maybe it would turn them on. It's personal to you what causes you anger versus you. That means it's based upon your past experiences. That's what it comes down to. There is a reason you are feeling anger when this person is starting to talk about this situation. Let's say a boss is starting to criticize your work. I had a lot of employees. Those of you who read my books understand that. Some of them were very different than other ones. Some you would go there and they turn in some work and there were things that needed to be improved and you would go to talk to them about it and they would be completely defensive and you didn't stand a chance of getting across what it was that they could do to improve their performance. Others, you go there and they're excited as could be. They didn't take it personal. It wasn't like you were telling them they did something wrong. You were bothering to take the time to help them do better. They were grateful for that. That's like going to a doctor and you do something wrong. He says, oh my God, look, you have this. Don't look at, what are you talking about? I'm beautiful. The doctor's trying to figure out what's wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with me. There's something wrong with you. You're a critical person. Wait, no. Well, it's the same thing with your boss. If he or she takes the time to help you see how you could improve your performance. So it's not critical. It's not negative. It's just improving everything. It's bringing it to another level. So some people can't handle anything. Not even the slightest thing that you say, you could have done better at this, or this was not right, or whatever it is. They take it defensively, they close down, and they freak out. Somebody else is grateful for the time you spent. What makes that difference? Is it true that you're one way but can't be the other? No, it's not. You can be any way you want. Do you understand that? You can't be any height you want. There are things you can't change very easily outside. There's nothing you can't change inside. You're the only one in there. Is anybody else in there with you? Hi. Nobody in there. It's a single occupancy apartment. So you're in there, and anything can be any way you want. If you don't want to be getting angry when somebody criticizes you, I can't say to you, hit a switch, and you won't, but I can say learn. When you first sat down to play the piano or some instrument, how good were you? You were terrible. I guarantee you the first time you sat down, you were terrible. All right? Well, you learned. When you first played tennis, when you first tried to learn math, calculus or something, you were not very... How good were you at calculus the first day of class? But you did learn it, didn't you? You have this ability to do this thing called learn. Somehow you don't think it has to do with what's going on in there. Learn is something you do out here. You can learn anything you want inside. In fact, it's easier to learn inside than it is outside. Why? There's no competition. If you try to be really good at tennis, you got to be better than somebody else. They could be good too. But inside, you change anything you want, anytime you want. The only resistance is you. Well, if you're resisting you, just stop. I'm telling you, right there, that is the entire spiritual journey. There is nobody else in there but you. There is only one consciousness and one center of will, and that's yours and you. It can be any way you want inside, but you need to learn, just like you learn anything else. So let's take anger, because that's a good one, but it could be anything. So now you find that if people talk about you, a certain person talks to you, a certain person, a certain subject, or stands too close, or who knows how many things there are that get you feeling angry. And all of a sudden this stuff starts going on inside, doesn't it? You start getting riled. You start feeling that kind of thing. And you just say, I've always been like that. And so you avoid the situation. You do this, whatever the heck it is. In any event, it's running your life. This garbage inside of you, there's no benefit to anger, none. No benefit to anger. All it does is make you not capable of dealing with the situation. Anger has no benefit. Jealousy has no benefit. Insecurity has no benefit. Self-consciousness has no benefit. These things have no benefit. Then why are you letting them go on inside of you? You're letting them run your life. And so what you do is you don't know what to do with them. And so you try to control the environment around you so it doesn't stimulate anger. So it doesn't do this. Do you understand that? All right, there's another way to deal with this. This way works. If you try to control the environment around you so it doesn't make you feel angry, you'll do that for the rest of your life. Because at any point, something could happen that makes you feel angry. Instead, you look in there and you say, why am I getting angry? Not what do I do about it? Not it's justifiable. Don't ever rationalize something that's ridiculous. Let's say you're eating something and making you sick. Nobody's making you eat it, but you're eating it and it's making you really, really sick. Of what benefit is it to eat that? None. Please don't find one. Don't let your mind rationalize, oh, well, no, it's ridiculous. If there's no benefit, there's no benefit. So you do the same thing inside yourself with these disturbed energies. You sit there and say they have no benefit. Therefore, I'm not going to justify them. I'm not going to say, well, he could have been a little more compassionate when he came to criticize. Plus, he always criticizes, so why should I even... Don't let your mind rationalize why it's okay to keep things that have no benefit. That's a major step. You have to be willing to say, I don't want this going on inside of me. There are higher things I'd like to experience than anger and jealousy and insecurity and self-consciousness and embarrassment, all those lower vibrations of energies. But I've never worked on myself. Instead of working on myself, I worked on everybody else. I tried to manipulate everybody and everything so that I didn't feel those things. And I thought that was the solution. Do you see that's not the solution? You have to do it for the rest of your life. You have to be afraid that somebody will say something that makes you angry. So what does it mean to actually say, why am I feeling anger? Why do I feel jealousy? Why do I feel insecure? Why do I have these disturbances inside of me? Why am I not okay? And if you look, believe it or not, you will actually see the answer. There is an answer for every single thing that happens in the universe. There are reasons for things. We live in a world of cause and effect. And what you're going to find is that these past impressions that have happened to you in the past, experiences you had in the past that left impressions on you, have the effect of blocking your energy flow. You have an energy flow of joy, of beauty, of love, of compassion, of enthusiasm. You're a very high being. You've felt it sometimes, haven't you? You got nice stuff in there, don't you? All right? It can get very beautiful. That's always in there, always. It is never not in there. There's nothing you've ever done that will make it not be in there. There's nothing you'll ever do that will make it not be in there. It is the nature of your being, is an upward flow of chi, of shakti. It doesn't ever stop. What happens is you have these impressions from the past. You've held them inside of you. Mostly you've held bad impressions, things that bothered you, things that made you scared, things that you didn't like. A lot of people didn't criticize you and bothered you. You've had things that have happened to you. You hold them inside. Those things are like rocks in a stream. They block your energy flow. That's something, if you've never learned anything else from me, please learn that, because I'm telling you the truth. Every single thing you hold in there from the past that disturbed you, that didn't go the way you wanted and made you insecure and you kept it in there, is actually blocking your flow of energy. The more you have, the less energy you have. That's why when people do traditional Freudian psychology and they have breakthroughs with their therapist, sometimes they have so much energy is released that they can't sleep for days. They have all this energy, they're excited, they change completely. That's because the blockage that they cleared or released was holding the energy down. That's all that's happening, is these blockages you have held inside of you, collected because of the experiences you've had that disturbed you in the past. You hold it inside, it blocks your energy. So now when you feel disturbed and you ask the question, why am I not okay? Why am I bothered by this? The answer is always the same. Because I have stored these past things and they are blocking my energy. So now what happens is I have all this energy blocked, like Mount Vesuvius. It's trying to erupt, but I'm blocking it. So now somebody comes and says something about your ex, says something about your child, says something about whatever the heck it is, something that is associated with what you blocked, anger starts coming up. Just, whoa, that's that energy you blocked. Right now there's wires running through that wall. You don't see it, nothing's happening. Go block them. Just take a knife and stick it in the middle of one of the wires. Tell me what happens. All kinds of fire and smoke and noise. It goes berserk, doesn't it? That's what happens when you block the flow of energy. If you block the flow of an energy, it short circuits. Okay? So you have blocked these energy flows. And what happens is when something happens outside that is associated with your blockages, the blockage becomes stimulated, energy hits it, and it starts getting weird. That's what anger is. Anger is exactly a short circuit. It's exactly like what a wire does when it starts going berserk. That's what you're feeling. So the answer is, why am I not okay? Why am I feeling disturbed? Why is this happening? The answer is always the same, because I have blocked the flow of my energy. And something has happened outside that has hit one of those blockages. So now I'm feeling jealous, I'm feeling insecure, feeling self-conscious, I'm feeling anger, whatever it is. All of your negative emotions are caused by what I just said to you. And you can see it yourself. Because what makes you angry doesn't make her angry. You don't even know why you're angry. When you sit and talk to somebody who's angry, somebody's upset. Why are you upset? But you get upset about something they don't understand. It's because of these past impressions that have programmed you to block your energy. So when things are happening that fit your past impressions, energy gets released because the impressions can quiet down. They're not being stimulated. Energy can find its way around them, and you feel a rise of energy. When something happens that hits these things, they expand, they open up, they block your energy, and all kinds of weirdness goes on inside of you. So the answer is, if you're not doing okay, instead of going forward and trying to build a world that fits your blockages, you get rid of your blockages. And that's what all of spirituality is. And that's an alternative way of life. It's literally a paradigm shift where you understand the only way I'm ultimately going to be okay is if I don't have things blocking my energy. My energy is free to flow. I'm free to feel love. I'm free to feel inspired. I'm free to feel creative all the time. I keep saying to you, not once in a while, not once a week, at weekend, oh boy, right? Every moment. At work, at home, with this, with that, even with difficult situations, you can actually feel challenged by them and be inspired by them. Don't think that in order for you to be happy and be okay and be inspired, everything has to be going the way you want. That's not true. That's only because you've been living the life I told you, which is I'm not okay, here's how it needs to be for me to be okay, and now it's being that way. Oh boy. That's why you think the only way you can feel love and joy and excitement and enthusiasm is have the world in front of you be the way you want. And if it ever be the way you don't want, you think you're going to freak out. You've been programmed to do it this other way. That's the only way you've tried. The real way to be okay is to remove the blockages, to sit there and say, I don't want this stuff inside of me so that I'm exposed to things bothering me. I want to be okay regardless of how things are. Now the question is, can you be? What if things aren't being the way you want? Can you have fun working with them? In sports, you do it all the time. There's so many experiences you have you're not paying attention to. How would you like to be on a team and play a team that you beat by 600 points every time you play them? Be fun the first time. What about the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth? You're going to be so bored, you will never want to go to that game. How would you like to play a team that's so evenly matched with you that it takes the best that you have to come out and try to win? You play that team every time. Even play a team who's better than you and learn. See what it is that makes them better. So athletics, we do it for some reason. We challenge ourselves. If you're a runner and you're just so much better than everybody else in your high school or college, it's a big deal. Imagine if somebody runs right with you. We like the challenge. We enjoy the challenge. We're stimulated by the challenge, aren't we? It's what brings the Shakti up. Well, you're not that way about life. The minute something's not the way you want it to be, you don't have anything to do with it. You get all upset. So what you need to do is learn to change how you're dealing with things inside. So the spiritual way to deal with things is to say, the reason I'm not okay, there's only one reason. The reason I'm not okay is because I have blocked the flow of my energy. That's the reason you're not okay. That's the reason everybody's not okay. Look at the mess that goes on in the world today. Come on, you look at that. How can you not see it? That's a mess, isn't it? You want to know why every single thing is the way it is? Because they're not okay. Nobody kills anybody because they're totally okay. Nobody does anything that's illegal or wrong because they're okay. They do it because they're not okay and they're trying to be okay. Nobody goes out and stalks a woman or a man because I'm just so okay, I think I'll go stalk somebody. No, it's because you're not okay. And you start looking at it and you realize the problem is that I'm not okay. The reason that I'm not okay is that I have blocked the flow of my energy. If these blockages are gone, I will be okay. I will feel joy, love, excitement, enthusiasm all the time. And then I'll deal with life with honor, with respect, with passion. And so basically the whole path of life to a spiritual being becomes letting go of these blockages. That's your battle you're fighting. I'm going to let go of these blockages. I'm not going to go out there and try to make every moment in front of me match my blockages, because that ain't going to happen. And that's not what I'm about. I have will. I'm not going to use the will to try to manipulate everybody all the time. It's kind of tiring, isn't it? Right? Make sure I'm wearing the right thing and I said the right thing and I have the right perfume or cologne on, and then I don't ever do this, and I have the right car and I take them to the right place and I order the right meal. Like, wow, that's a lot of tension, isn't it? You better watch it all the time. You ever the feeling you better watch it all the time? You bet. You're on really thin ice, aren't you? Of course you're on thin ice. Because you have a way you need it to be, and the world is unfolding in front of you, doesn't even know what it is. They doesn't even care. The world never asked you, do you want me to be this way? It just is the way it is. It's just unfolding. So the probability that it's going to be the way you want is slim to nil. And that's why nobody's okay. They're all still struggling. So understand that the whole world and all the problems in it is because people are not okay. And they're trying to be okay, and therefore they're fighting with each other as to, I'll be okay if I own this piece of land. I'll be okay if I own that piece of land. Okay, pick up the guns. Countries do it, people do it, families do it, everybody does the exact same thing. Struggle, fight, force, manipulate, control. Why does everybody want control? So they can have it the way they think they need it to be, so they can be okay. All right? That's why do people like power so much? I know you don't, but some people are really into power. Why? If I have power, I can make it be the way I want it to be and make it not be the way I don't want it to be. Therefore, I want to be the person who's in power. That's why. What's power? Nothing. It's nothing. Unless you're not okay, then it gives you the power and the tools and the manipulative force to try and make people, places, and things be the way you want. That's why they want money. That's why they want power. That's why they want all this kind of stuff, because they're not okay. That is not going to fix it. It never fixed it for anybody, because the world keeps changing. You're not staying in power. So basically, you come down and you realize there's only one way you're going to be okay. You understand the reason you're not okay, because you've blocked the flow of your energy. You need to remove these blockages. And I'm telling you that the whole of a spiritual being's life, the whole of their life, as much as every minute and every second of everybody else's life is about getting what they want, every moment of a spiritual being's life is about letting go of the blockages, because we're both trying to achieve the same thing. We're trying to be okay, but their way doesn't work, and this way does. There's not one single block. First of all, you know what I mean by blockages? You got some in there? Things that bothered you from the past, that leave sensitive little things in there? In the past could be 5 minutes ago, what somebody said to you, or somebody had nicer shoes than you did. You understand that? It doesn't take much, does it? Somebody's talking too loud. Okay, somebody isn't driving the way you want. Everything, anything. Weather's not what you want. Okay? It leaves impressions. There's not a single one of those impressions that you left inside of you that is not damaging your life. I don't care if it happened 45 years ago. If it is still inside of you, it is bothering your life. Who agrees with me? Psychology. If they took your blue blankie away too soon when you were 4, you got problems. If mommy took your sister to the play and not you when you were 6, you got problems. Problems with mommy, problems with sister, problems with plays, certainly that play. That's what's going to happen. If you keep stuff in there, it is going to screw up your life. It is going to block your energy flow and become a sensitive point that messes you up. So basically, first, here's the first postulate of spiritual growth. If you store stuff in you about the past that you didn't like, it is going to block your energy flow. And when it blocks your energy flow, you will not be okay. Therefore, the only way to be okay, the only way to really be okay, is to remove the blockages that you have stored inside. It's that simple. You're suffering here because you have blocked your energy flow. You're a beautiful being. You're a great being. You have beautiful, effervescent, ever-flowing rushes of love and joy and inspiration and beauty inside of you. It is blocked. There's great joy and love and beauty inside of you if you remove these blockages. So your whole life, you're doing the same thing. You're not renouncing or giving anything up. You're saying, I'm a smart person. I'm intelligent. We have all of the same mission. We want to be okay. We want to be happy. We want to feel love and joy. I know how to do it. You don't. The way you're doing it, you'll never, I don't mean you personally. You're saying that to the rest of the world. The way you're going about doing it is not going to work. Even if you kill yourself to have the wedding exactly the way you want it, there will be a day in which the wedding's over, like every other day except for one. So what good did that do? You killed yourself to make one moment match what you wanted. Well, what about everything else? It doesn't even make sense to me anymore. It's crazy. Kill yourself to get a new car that you think will impress people and make you feel special. How long does that last? How long does that new car feeling last after you took all your friends for a ride and now it starts to smell like a normal car? Pretty soon it's exactly the same as your last car, as your car. It doesn't fix anything. And you can't keep the moments in front of you matching what's going on inside of you. So instead, you change what's going on inside of you. And it becomes the devotion of your life. That is what it means to devote your life to God, to devote your life to the spiritual path. It means I am blocking myself. I'm the one who held this stuff inside of me. I'm the one who keeps it inside of me. Is that the truth? Well, what do you do when it starts to come up? You push it back down. Somebody says something that bothers you, push it back down. I don't want to deal with this. You are the one who held it in there. You're the only one in there. There's just you refusing to let go of those blockages. And by the time you store enough of those blockages, it's dark inside because you blocked the light. Not that there's no light, but you blocked it. So your whole goal becomes, I'm going to let go of these blockages. And I've taught you how to do that. 1, things are going to happen every moment of every day that bother you. Let them go. The tiniest little things, the fact that it rained a little bit, the fact that there was a puddle when you got out of the car and you got your shoes wet, the fact that when you're going somewhere real short and you didn't buckle your seatbelt and it goes beep, beep, beep. There are so many little things every single day that bother you a little bit, don't they? That kind of cause a little bit of disturbance inside. I am begging you to practice letting them go. Start with the tiny little stuff. Somebody standing too close in your space when they're talking. Instead of freaking out or saying stuff inside, just try to let it go. It only lasts for a few minutes that they're standing there. Try to let go of the experience of being disturbed. Instead of getting into it, let it go. If you will relax and let it go, it won't stay inside of you. It is when you resist it that it stays inside of you. That act of resistance, the act of participating in the disturbance, is what makes it carve a deeper pattern inside of you. That's why people teach you positive thinking. Okay, you can do that. You can play with all kinds of techniques. That's your choice. I just want to tell you what you're trying to achieve. So if it starts raining and my mind's going, oh my God, why does it have to rain when I have to get out of the car? What did I ever do? God doesn't even like me. This is ridiculous. Oh my God, it's wet. I'm going to be wet now. I will be. If you're doing that, the rain is slightly disturbing. What's going on inside of you is really disturbing. It's way more disturbing than the rain. And the rain stops. It's over. That's not over. You'll tell everybody. It will keep going inside of you. And the next time you'll see a cloud, oh, don't rain on me. You did that last week, right? Next time you go to deliver something, I hope it doesn't rain. It left an impression in you. Please listen to me. It may sound funny. Listen to me. This is not innocent stuff. I am guaranteeing you, you cause yourself more trouble about things than the thing did. A kid has to go get a shot, a little booster shot, when he's 6. But he had one before and didn't like it. For 6 months prior to the booster shot, I don't want to get a shot. If you love me, you want me to get a shot. I don't want to do it. For 6 months, right? Gets a shot. Ow! The owl lasted 16 seconds. Then for the next 6 months, oh, why'd you make me do that? I don't want to do that again. Well, that's great. You just made something that took 15 seconds last a year. Well, congratulations. You do it too, don't you? The disturbance you create inside of yourself is generally way greater than the actual disturbance you experience outside. In fact, you have the ability to create disturbance inside of yourself about something that didn't even happen. All you have to do is think about it might happen. Can you cause yourself disturbance about something that might happen? Can you cause yourself disturbance about something that happened 3 years ago? That's not even happening anymore and didn't happen again for 3 years? How can you be okay if this is what you're doing? Remember, I started this by saying, start where you're not okay. Because the whole life of fighting and forcing and being neurotic is how you're trying to solve not being okay. The real way to solve is to ask, why am I not okay? I'm showing you why you're not okay. How can you possibly be okay if you're doing that inside? If you store every single thing that ever bothered you inside of you and let it continue bothering you for the rest of your life, I don't think you can be okay. You're going to find out when you work with this that you are the cause of your own not okayness. You're not dealing with yourself well inside. So spirituality is about changing your relationship with yourself. And so if it starts to rain, let your mind say something. I love the rain. Oh boy, the farmers really love it. Imagine, look at the corn grows. They all need water. I told you what I do if my mind wants to complain about the rain. I sit there and say, look, we got all these planets. None of them have water. We haven't found water on any of these, our 8 planets or anything like that, right? On our planet, the water falls out of the sky. On Venus, when it rains hydrochloric acid. I told you that. Would you rather be there? You get to say nice things about the rain. If you say nice things about it, it will not leave bad impressions inside of you. You won't freak out next time you see a cloud. You'll go, oh boy, I'm glad to be on Earth where it rains water. That's why they teach you positive thinking. Because if you think positively about something, it passes through. It doesn't leave impressions on you that bother you for the rest of your life. If you will do this with every single thing that happens to you, just all the little things, do that. But you're going to say to me, it sounds good, and I go to do it, and then I'm not there. And then I come back and I say, oh, I was supposed to do it. That's what meditation's for. That's what mantra's for. That's what your spiritual practices are for. You practice so that you can be conscious and do this. If you meditate, you will learn to stay present. You will learn to be there even though your mind is making noise. And then you'll find that you're there more often. It's about being there and then being smart about being there and saying, I don't want any more impressions inside of me. I got too many. If I want to be happy, and don't say I don't have time for this, it is more important than everything else you're doing, because everything else you're doing to try to be okay will not work. It hasn't worked for anybody. It hasn't worked for you either. So you're still doing it. There hasn't been any time in your life, a period in your life, that you weren't trying to be okay. You just did it different ways all the time. Okay. So of course there's time for this, because it's the meaning of your life. Not because I said it's the meaning of your life, because you said it's the meaning of your life. You said you want to be okay. This is how you be okay. I'm getting the bottom line. The reason you're not okay is you have blocked your energy with these things. So you need to learn. I don't care how long it takes. You need to learn with the small things that happen every day. Learn to neutralize them. Learn to let them go. Learn to make them fun. Somebody's driving in front of you the way you don't want to drive. It's like a video game and Pac-Man's in your way or something like that, right? Just have fun. Make it fun. And so little by little, you do it with these small things. And you develop the ability to handle situations that used to disturb you. There's no reason they disturb you except they disturbed you. As you do this, you're letting go of blockages. For one thing, you're not putting in new ones, all right? And what you're going to do is develop, you won't even know you did it. It's so natural. Because you practiced with the weather and with somebody standing too close and with the fact that the car had a scratch, whatever the heck it is, these rather neutral things that used to bother you, you work on yourself. You work on letting them go. Next thing that's going to happen is something's going to come up from before. Somebody's going to mention the name of your ex. Somebody's going to tell your sister's on the phone. You still have some stuff with your sister or whatever the heck it is. And you're going to find that the exact same tools that you used inside yourself to let go of the driver in front of you or the rain, let you let go of this thing that used to freak you out. You've learned to work with disturbance. So therefore, when disturbance starts coming up, that ability can be used for your past things. And you're going to find that the world's perfect. It will unfold in just the right order, and the stuff will be brought up just in accordance to what you're capable of letting go. You won't think so. You'll think it's more, because it's in a rush to get you out of here, all right? But it will keep coming up, and you keep letting go. And pretty soon, those words that I use, letting go, will be your entire life. You realize my whole life is about letting go of this garbage that I've stored inside of me. Not putting any in by letting go, and not keeping it in there, letting it go. Just keep letting go. Keep letting go, and you'll get stronger and stronger inside until you can handle anything come see me when you're that way, when you realize there's not a single thing, not one single thing that will ever happen in my entire life outside of me that I can't handle, that I can't be okay with, that I can't let go. Then deal with it. Nobody's saying you don't deal with things. God, I teach you this. I wonder if you hear me. You let go first. Otherwise, you're not dealing with what happened. You're dealing with your reaction to what happened. You're not dealing with the present. You're dealing with your past. Then when it comes up, keep letting go. Keep letting go. Keep letting go. And then you're going to find out for yourself that what I told you is true. That all of a sudden, someday, you get this rush of energy for no reason. Just a bird sang. You have all this joy. Well, what the heck? Right? You start really, you're spontaneously experiencing joy because you remove the blockages that are blocking the joy. It's not going to happen on day 1 or day 2 or day 10. But little by little, it gets lighter and lighter, and then little breakthroughs happen, all right? And more things make you happy, and less things hit your stuff. Why? Because you have less stuff. The whole idea of the entire spiritual path is to empty yourself. The Buddhists call it the empty bell, the void. Empty mind. That's what they're talking about. When you are free of this stuff you stored, you will stand face to face with the moments that are unfolding in front of you. You will be conscious and clear. You'll be filled with inspiration and passion to deal with them like you would a sport, okay? And you will be so good at what you do. It's absolutely unbelievable. You'll be better at every single thing you do than you ever were, and maybe than anybody else you deal with. So this is a life that's incomprehensible. Spiritual life is the most enjoyable, happy, successful thing you could possibly be. You're just filled with inspiration and joy all the time because you have infinite energy inside of you. When this energy starts flowing inside of you, you can start to feel spirit. You start to feel what they're talking about. I was in the Spirit of the Lord's Day. You start feeling rushes of beautiful energy that's lifting you up. Over time, you will realize it goes somewheres. Where's the source of this and where's it going? And you'll learn to rest into it. And that will be the highest high you ever had. Ever feel like you want to just be taken away by beautiful energy? I don't care if it's many different situations you find yourself in, like they almost blow you away, but you're still there. What would it be like to be blown away? To merge, to melt into that flow and be complete in the ecstasy itself. That's what yoga is. Yoga means union, merger. When the whole of your being just melts into this beautiful energy. And that's merger with God. That's divine spirit energy. So it's a very high path because you're a very high being. But I showed you the choice. The choice point is, I'm not okay. Do I build a model and then try to fight with everybody to make it be that way for my whole life? Or do I get rid of the reason I'm not okay? Big difference, isn't it? Very good. Jai Gurudev.